Okay, so we've spoken about assessing the customer, but I want to talk about a very important diagram that you should have at the back of your mind when you are doing things relating to like pricing, okay? And is the market customer problem relationship, okay? So I'm going to draw this for you and then we're going to go through it. So you have the market, customer, then you have the problem. All right, let's talk about it. So what is a market? A market is basically a gathering of people that are, selling stuff, and they have a set of policies, ideas, or, norms that guide how they actually do business, right? That's essentially what a market is. So if you're Ghanaian, you probably know about like open markets, you probably know about Agbegleshi, or you probably know about Makola, right? There are all these different markets, whatever region you find yourself in. Now, if you're not Ghanaian, you probably know also of similar markets. If you're in the West, you know about farmers markets, all these different things, right? So essentially, a market is a place where people are gathered and they are trading services, and there are some existing norms and behaviors and policies that are guiding how they behave. So anybody who gets into that market understands that there is a certain behavior here, right? So for example, if you go to Makola or any open markets, you know that you're going to do a good bit of negotiating. You know what things are typically going to cost. Now, let me give you another example. A shopping center, a mall, is a market, right? Although we call it a mall, it's a gathering or collection of stores that are selling different things. But when you walk into a mall, there is a different set of rules and different set of behaviors that guide that market, as opposed to when you go to an open market like Makola or any other open market, or like a fruit market, right? You can go buy fruits in the mall, but then you already know that by the mere fact that you're in the mall, prices will be different. By the mere fact that you're in the mall, packaging will be different. By the mere fact that you're in the mall, certain things about how the same goods and services are sold is going to be different, because what? You're in a completely different market. When it comes to your creative services, you need to be aware of the markets that you are in, okay? Because again, it's a collection of things. Now, when it comes to the kinds of things that we do as creatives, markets can be different. One, markets can be geographical, okay? So, markets can be geographical. There can be an African market. There can be a European market. There can be a US market, right? There can be a West African market. There can be an East African market, right? So that's one of the first things you need to understand, which is like one of the first classifications of a market is what's the geography, right? Because the geography immediately, or the location immediately start dictating certain things. So if I'm saying I'm in an African market, I'm going to mostly get paid in African currencies, right? Which means that the currency exchange is going to be different. But the minute I go to a US market, things are different, right? Because it's going to be a completely different currency, right? Now, if I'm in an African market, the perception and the need for creative services is different from when I'm in a US market. Because in a foreign market like US or Europe or wherever, development has progressed, the economy is a little mature, so the value that they place on certain things like creative services is very different from a market like West Africa or even East Africa, right? Where you just don't have the same value placed on the same creative services. So just by being in a particular market, you're already making some dictations about how much you can charge and how you can price your purchase because of what we call the market conditions, right? So it is very, very important to understand what market you're playing in. Now, another way or another layer of definition when it comes to markets is industries, right? So we're in Africa or we're in the US, but you have different industries, right? You have the entertainment industry. You have the finance industry. You have transportation. You have logistics. You have retail or e-commerce, right? You might have, technology, right? These are all specific industries that can exist within a market. So if I'm in the African market, there can be the African entertainment market. If I'm in the African market, there can be the African finance market. If I'm in the African market, there can be the African, logistics, transportation. There's what? Real estate. right? And the list goes on. And again, these are things that creatives don't consider when we are doing business, right? Because for us, we're just offering our services and we just want to get paid for the services and go. But unfortunately, there are these rules that actually guide how certain markets operate. So if you're in the entertainment industry, there's a way people behave in the entertainment industry. There's a way they perceive creative services. There's a certain set of behaviors that happen, right? If you're in the finance market, there's a different thing that's happening there, right? If you're in the transportation market, there's a different thing that's happening in the logistic market. So part of your job as a creative, as an ongoing part of the things you do, is to always try to build a good understanding of the markets that you're operating in. Now, at some point, you're going to have to choose, right? That's the importance of like knowing all these things, right? You're going to have to choose, okay, do I work in the African market or do I work in the European market? You're going to have to choose, okay, do I want to work in the finance market? Do I want to be in the entertainment space? And whatever you choose, whatever markets you choose, you have to spend time actually understanding the rubrics and how people behave in those markets and how money flows and how things happen and the perception that they have of the service that you're offering, right? And this is crucial because when it comes to your content consumption, when it comes to the things you learn, the people you follow, right? It's not just about the technical creative work. Your social media feed, for example, needs to be a combination of, yes, learn design, learn all these different things, but also follow some key people in the markets you're trying to serve. Also follow other agencies who are serving similar markets that you want to serve. Also follow other creatives who are working in the same market that you want to work in, because that begins to give you information on what we call the market dynamics. How do people behave in this market? How do they perceive creative services? How much do they normally pay for things? Because all these variables influences how much you can charge. So if you're in a market and you don't understand what the market is actually doing, they are going to spend a lot of time sending invoices that will never get paid. Your product may be good, and sometimes it may be the case that when you understand that market, you need to switch what services you're offering, or you need to go to a different market that really appreciates like your services. Let me give you an example. Let's say I'm in the African real estate market, okay?